my apartment. He has never been to my office. And asked me to draw up some papers at once in his presence.
What time was this?
Oh, he arrived about 9. Was there until after midnight. I'm afraid it took a long while. You understand, it's a difficult business, extremely difficult, to convey property by testament to a daughter without naming or identifying her in any way. Your functions are limited strictly to the legacy of his daughter. There are only 2 other provisions in the document under consideration. $50,000 to you as executor, and the same in amount to me.
Let me see it.
In a moment, yes, sir. I should explain that the large sum left to me was not to compensate me for drawing up some papers. It was to pay me for not opening this envelope addressed to you and examining the contents. I must say he misjudged me entirely. 1/10 that amount, 1/50 would have sufficed. So, having said that, there is the will, and this is the envelope.
Thank you.
Well, at least we know where Parrott was when the police couldn't find him last night.
Yes. Mr. Schwartz, considering the circumstances, I think Mr. Parrott would expect me to let you know this much. Archie, would you read this page to Mr. Schwartz?
Yes. To Nero Wolfe, if this is a wrong one I'm pulling, it's the worst mistake I ever made, but I think I can count on you after seeing you today and sizing you up. I don't think I'm going to die, but what if I do? That's my problem. My daughter has got to be protected. I mean, she has got to get what belongs to her, and that's my problem.
Thank you. The envelope also contains a marriage certificate and a birth certificate. Put them in the safe, Archie.
Then you accept the office?
I do.
In that case, I have a question. With the daughter dead, how do you propose to perform the functions of your office?
A reasonable question. I had Archie read you that page because I wanted to understand why I cannot give you an answer. Since Mr. Parrott trusted you, he would expect me to give you this much satisfaction. The daughter is not dead. Beyond that, Mr. Parrott left it to me, and so will you.
I see. I hope you'll forgive me if I mention another detail. I understand that Mr. Goodwin here was present when Miss Parrott was killed.
Yes.
He was also present when Mr. Parrott and his companion were killed.
Yes.
But Mr. Goodwin was not injured.
Only my pride.
Mr. Wolfe, I don't know whether you fully realize the inferences that will be drawn by Mr. Parrott's associates when they...
Nero Wolfe's office. Archie
Can he talk to me now?
Hold on a moment, I'll see. It's the man who called earlier. The one who wouldn't leave his name.
I'll take it. Nero Wolfe speaking. Your name, please? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I never speak to people without a name. Just a moment. Fabian. Thank you. Hold the line a moment, please. Mr. Schwartz, have you ever heard of a man called Fabian?
Yes.
So have I.
Yes, Mr. Fabian, what is it? Oh, I see. I must tell you I never make appointments outside my house. No, indeed. I assure you I'm not frightened at all. Yes, I realize that, but I seldom go out for... If you... Well, I have a suggestion. Why don't you come to my office, say at 2 o'clock this afternoon? Did you have the address? Good.
Mr. Wolfe, I was about to say when the phone rang that Mr. Parrott's associates are men of action. To put it baldly, they will kill both you and Mr. Goodwin the first chance they get. Now, I was about to suggest certain precautions...
Mr. Fabian says he wants to ask me something.
Great heavens, to let him in?
If he is really dangerous, and if he has drawn the sort of inferences you fear, my own office is the only safe place to meet him. This business has to be settled sooner rather than later, doesn't it? Shall we continue?
Nero Wolfe's office. Archie Goodwin speaking.
You said your name was Harold Stevens.
Oh, boy, just what I needed. Actually, at the moment, the name is Mudd. Harold Mudd here.
That's not funny.
Certainly isn't. Look, actually...
I want to know about the man that got killed and how you happened to be...
Hold it. Wait a minute. Start again. What have you seen, heard, and done?
I've seen pictures, just now in the Gazette.
Oh.
One of a man named Daisy Parrott, and I know him in a certain way. And he's been killed. And for a certain reason, that's bad news for me.
I was...
Another picture is of you.
Oh.
And it says your name is Archie Goodwin.
That's right.
And you work for Nero Wolfe.
That's right.
And it says you were with Daisy Parrott when he was killed. So I want to know what... I'm coming over there.
No, don't do that. You stay where you are. I'll come over and pick you up. I'll be right over. It's the friend of the law student. Very upset.
I gathered. You can leave at once. I can finish my business with Mr. Schwartz without you.
Yes, sir.
And Archie,
Huh?
arrange it carefully.
That's why I'm picking her up, sir.
How do you do, Miss Page? And, Morton, I wasn't expecting you.
He wouldn't let me come alone.
I certainly wouldn't. I'd like to know what this is all about. Goodwin saying his name was Stevens. And why were we sneaked in the back way like
The
this?
sidewalk in front of our house was the scene of 2 murders, and quite conspicuous
I
ones.
demand to know what is going on.
Miss Page deserves an explanation, and she'll get it. Doubtless you'll get it later from her. Mr. Goodwin and I are taking Miss Page up to the plant rooms to show her my orchids and have a talk with her. Now, there are books and magazines down there.
I must insist.
No.
Mr.
Don't try. Archie, tell Fritz there'll be 2 luncheon guests at one shop.
My God.
You're impressed?
I've never seen such a blaze of color in my life.
Someday you must spend an hour or 2 up here. Now I'm afraid we haven't time. You're not an infant, Miss Page.
I'm 20 years old.
And I won't have to use a nipple for this. You know what a hypothetical question is?
Certainly.
And I'll put one to you. Suppose these things. That with me as intermediary, your father has arranged to make available to you a considerable sum of money. That he is not in a position to disclose himself to you, and cannot ever be expected to do so. That he has put it wholly within my discretion whether you shall be told his name and your mother's name, and that the circumstances are such that it will be one deuce of a job to keep you from guessing his name and guessing it right. Now, supposing all that, here's something for you to think over.
Yes?
You want me to tell you the names or not?
Oh, I don't need to think it over. I want you to tell me.
Oh, that's an impulse.
Oh, good Lord, an impulse. If you only knew what I want to know.
What if your father is, say, a convicted pickpocket?
I don't care what he is. I want to know.
Then you should. Mr. Parrott, your father, died last night out there on the sidewalk.
I knew it.
The devil you did.
I knew it.
Oh, good God. Deal with this, Archie.
Miss,
Why haven't you got the sense to go, too?
Now, look, the room just under this one is mine. It's unlocked, and it has a bathroom with a mirror. There's no hurry. We can wait.
Down so soon, Archie? Is she all right?
She needed a shoulder to cry on, but with her fiancé under the same roof, I didn't think it would be fitting. Morton's in the front room, pacing. Nero Wolfe's office, Archie Goodwin.
Let me talk to him.
It's Kramer.
Mr. Kramer, how are you?
I'm fine. You?
The way I always am before lunch. Hungry.
Enjoy it. This is just a friendly call. I wanted to let you know that you were right as usual when you decided to keep it all to yourself and tell us only one thing that was worth a damn about Parrott's daughter being wanted in Salt Lake. We got onto her through the Washington fingerprint piles, as you knew we would. I don't think she was his daughter at all. Her name was Angelina Murphy, though she used others. She had about 10 years coming. I suppose I might as well ask if you have anything to add.
No. No, I think not.
Nothing at all? About the job you took on for Parrott?
No, nothing.
Okay. I didn't expect it. Enjoy your lunch.
Well, at least I heard that before I died.
What?
Well, Kramer knowing you've got things he could use and merely telling you to enjoy your lunch. Do you know why?
Yes. It was, in effect, an obituary. If I were a sentimentalist, Archie, I'd be touched.
He thinks we haven't got long to live.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think we should enjoy our lunch.
Excuse me, sir. Mr. Schwartz has arrived. He says he has an appointment at 2.
Thank you, Fritz. Well, I must apologize for ending the meal so abruptly, but callers are expected. Miss Page, I think it would be best for you and Morton to leave the same way you came.
I don't want to leave yet. Couldn't I wait? There are things I'd like to ask.
Certainly. You may wait in the plant rooms if you wish.
Morton, too?
No, wait. I don't like the way things look here. I don't know what explanation you've given Miss Page. These callers you're expecting, are they connected with Miss Page or her affairs?
With Miss Page? No. With her affairs, yes.
Who are they?
One of them is a man called Fabian. Another is named Schwartz, a lawyer, a member of the bar. And I've invited a private investigator currently in my employ, Mr. Saul Panzer.
I want to be present.
Morton, no. You don't understand.
Miss Page's name will not appear in the conversation. I can see no reason why you shouldn't be there if you want to. That will be Mr. Fabian. So please go ahead into the office, Mr. Shane. Archie and I will join you shortly. Mr. Fabian, it is part of your legend, sir, that you never go anywhere unarmed. Are you armed now?
Yeah. Any objections?
None at all, but I'm not calling you a liar, but I would be better satisfied if I saw proof. Where is your weapon? Easily available?
It's available.
Would you mind showing it to me?
Comedy. Here. I could have had it out and in again 20 times. I came to get some proof from you, and Goodwin here.
Excuse me. We'll go into the office and sit down. This way, sir. You know, I must apologize to you, Mr. Fabian, for appropriating a few minutes of your time, but this will only take a few...
Fritz has got it, sir.
You're Schwartz.
Yes, Mr. Fabian, you may remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Archie, you can't go in.
Fritz,
there, Mr.
are you all right,
How are
sir?
you going to stop me? Fabian, what you doing here?
I got you covered, Tums.
Not here and now, Fabian.
Who gave you the steer?
Nobody. I came on business.
Lift them up.
Oh, Tommy Rod, this is preposterous. Besides you two, there are 5 people in here. What do you expect to do, shoot all of us? It's nonsense. And who the devil are you, sir? What do you mean bounding into my house like this?
That's Mr. Thumbs Meeker. Mr. Wolfe, sir.
You heard me, Fabian. Not here and now. He's right. I came on business.
You came on business? What business?
Who are these guys?
Well, they're here on business, too. What's yours?
I want to know if it's true that you told the cops that your punk put a finger on Parrott and his daughter for me.
No.
They seem to have that idea.
It isn't true.
Oh, I'm a liar?
I don't know whether you're a liar or not, but if the police have made any such statement or intimation, they are. I would have expected you to be sufficiently familiar with police methods not to come running to me with anything as silly as that.
You didn't tell him that.
Certainly not.
You're Goodwin.
Yeah?
Did you?
No, am I a half-wit?
Mr. Meeker, now that you're here, I suggest that you stay. Please, be seated. I was about to tell these people who killed Mr. Parrott and his daughter, and how and why. It will be doubly interesting because the man who did it is present.
I wouldn't want to miss that.
Hey, I'm present.
Yes, sir, but it wasn't you. Sit down. I don't like to talk to faces on different levels. And you too, Mr. Fabian. Yeah, that's better. Now then, first about Mr. Parrott's daughter. The police know that the young woman who was killed last night was not his daughter, but they don't know that he actually has a daughter. I do, and I know who and where she is because Mr. Parrott told me about her in this room yesterday. At this very moment,
Go slow.
If you please. No power on earth, Mr. Fabian, not even the kind of primitive power you rely on, will keep me from telling this properly. You can shoot me, but you're not going to, so don't interrupt. Mr. Parrott's real daughter is at this moment in this house, upstairs looking at my orchids. He told me...
That's a lie.
She doesn't think so, Mr. Shane. And don't you interrupt me. Mr. Parrott entrusted her interests to me, and I intend to guard them. Some 18 months ago, he discovered that you, Mr. Meeker, had learned of his daughter's existence and were trying to find her. So he tried a finesse. He went to Salt Lake City and arranged with a young woman named Murphy, a fugitive from justice, to come to New York and live with him as his daughter.
Go slow.
Oh, don't be absurd, Mr. Fabian. The police know all that. The arrangement was made, and Miss Murphy came to New York and became Miss Violet Perrott.